Christopher Ng. I'm based out of Houston, Texas. I am a audio engineer. I am also a DJ and working on becoming a EDM producer. I also would like to get into sound for video games. Equipment I have right now here in my home studio. I got sound treatment all over my room, plus I got my Apple MacBook Pro, RME Fireface UFX, you can see behind me, and my studio monitors. I got Equator D5s. For DJing live, I use turntables, Techniques turntables, Pioneer turntables. My mixer right now is a Range 62, and I play on Serato DJ. Every once in a while I use the Denon Prime series. Depends if I'm doing hip hop or electronic music. I also have some microphones, Audix for recording drums. For my live applications, I also have PreSonus 16.42 AR, a live sound mixer, standard SM58, vocal mics, SM57, instrument mics. I'm on a Serato system, digital vinyl system. I used to use regular vinyl because I was a scratch DJ in the past. When I have more money, I'm gonna get some Pioneer just to collect equipment because I'm a gear nerd. I work on Pro Tools, I work on Ableton, Logic. I like interchanging between those three digital audio workstations because all three of them have different features that I like to use at different times, whether it be recording or producing music or syncing sounds and scoring for film. I first got exposed to this art form of DJing in middle school actually, when I saw people like DJ Single or the Cracker Nuts. I really thought scratching was cool, so I wanted to do it too. That's how I got into it. I just thought it was cool. And I thought I'd get a bunch of girls, but it's not like that. I was always curious about sound, like how sound travels and, you know, how it's like created and how we perceive it. I think that sound has a huge influence on all of us, especially our hearts, because, you know, sound is a bunch of frequencies, and I think that all of us have a certain frequency as well. So what if I can tune something to your frequency and make you feel a certain way, and hopefully a good way? How do I stay motivated? That is a great question. Every single morning when I wake up, the first thing I do is I meditate. I meditate at least 20 minutes. If I have time to do an hour, I will meditate an hour, because in this business, it's really easy to get discouraged. When you subscribe to a life of art, you're also subscribing to a life of misery. At the end of the day, you are the only one, I am the only one who understands what kind of work that I can put out. And aside from all that, I always read personal development books. Like, for example, the most recent book I read was called The Compound Effect. It talks about how building small habits can lead to huge changes, and I firmly believe that it's keeping up with all your good habits, removing all your bad habits, removing your addictions, and keeping a balanced head. I'm telling you, it is so hard to stay motivated in this business. You know, honestly, I'm in school. I'm finishing it. And I do believe that school gives you a good foundation where to start. It gives you a good roadmap. But I don't think you actually need it. I don't think school is important, but I do think that education is important. Just as long as you're continuously educating yourself or finding someone who's better than you, you will get better. If you don't want to go to school, maybe you could go to a studio and get an internship. And the reason why I chose to go to school is funny. It's because, you know, I'm Asian, I have Asian parents. Asian parents want you to finish school. I haven't heard the last of my family nagging at me for finishing school. So what am I doing? I'm finishing school. I did learn a lot from school, no doubt. It's a great foundation. It gave me another roadmap to follow. Knowing where I want to go, there's a lot of things that I still need to learn after here. The learning never ends. The reason why I'm getting this degree is to survive in my society. I used to be DJ Crisis, but there were so many people trying to take that name, even though I was the original. I got that name because one day I was practicing martial arts with some of my friends. I was just like, hey man, I need a new DJ name. What do y'all think? You move like a ninja, and you're a noisy guy, so let's call you Ninja Noize. Ninja Noize is an oxymoron. When it comes to sound, I guess my process, it really just comes out of nowhere. What I do is I practice every single day. No matter how mundane it is, no matter how boring practice is, I practice because I need to practice. And while I'm practicing, and just as long as I show up, things just come from another dimension. When it comes to my work and audio, I have to show up every day. I have to practice. And you know, I always have to remind myself that I'm committed to it. And just as long as I do that, continue with that process, the music or the sounds just comes because I show up. Where do I see myself in 5 years? I see myself producing electronic music, DJing in different cities, probably having a name for myself, at least in the US, at least in the West Coast, at least in the South. If I don't get into electronic music production, then I will probably be getting into sound for video games. 10 years from now, I see myself touring the world, being a superstar DJ. I mean, I don't crave to be a superstar DJ, but it would be cool, it would be nice to DJ in different countries, different cities, meeting new people, experiencing new cultures. Gives me an excuse to travel. So what kind of advice I'd give to people starting out in DJing audio industry? First of all, get started. Buy your own gear, buy it right away, so that once you spent the money, you're committed. It's really that amount of money that you spend on your gear and you're like, oh crap, I really gotta work on this. And another thing is, never give up, because it's really easy to get discouraged. It's really hard. You need to practice every single day, every day, every month, just as long as you show up and practice. Yeah, that's the advice I could give for beginners. Well, every time before I get on stage, I am always nervous. Every time. It's probably because I care so much about my performance and how people will see my performance. But as soon as all the anxiousness and nervousness goes away, I get lost in the moment there, and it's crazy because you're like in control of the crowd. You're like the god of the dance floor. And just watching, people jumping up and down, scream, going crazy, dancing, have a good time, that really makes me feel good. I just like to see people have a good time. Alright guys, I'm DJ Ninja Noize, aka Chris Ang from Houston, Texas. Represent H-Town. Alright guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for spending your time to learn more about me and what I do. Never give up, keep going, keep scratching, keep playing, rock the crowd. Peace. I love electronic music. I love all types of music. I like making people feel good with music.